Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this week's Wi-Fi Wednesdays. My name is Kevin Z. I am founder and CEO of My Wi-Fi Networks, and we meet here on Facebook Live each and every week to talk about the latest and greatest in Wi-Fi marketing. And this week, we're actually talking about a little bit more than Wi-Fi marketing, because as you know, the world is in somewhat of a state of crisis. And first of all, I just want to wish all of you the best. I hope that all of you are taking shelter, staying at home. But more importantly, you're staying healthy. I think that's the number one thing. Everyone needs to take care of themselves first and foremost. So make sure you stay inside, stay safe. Don't be stupid. Don't go out there and do anything. Don't hang out with your friends. Don't go out there shopping unless it's absolutely required. And respect your elderly. Make sure that it's not only about you, it's about everyone else around you. So make sure that you are very cognizant. This is the real deal, guys. You don't want to mess around with this. Business always comes second. This is number one. You always want to make sure you take care of yourself, because if you don't, the business doesn't matter, right? So in these unprecedented times, this is something I've never personally. It almost feels like a movie. I wake up in the morning and I think, wow, is this actually happening? And the fact is, yes, it is. But in times of great pain, does come opportunity, and I mean this in the best way. And hear me out for a second here. So things will get back to normal, eventually. Right now, it might not seem like it. It might seem like where things are going to get way worse before they get better. But eventually, things will get back to normal. Okay, we will recover and we will bounce back. This goes not only for we're in Canada here, United States, everywhere in the world. I think is feeling the effect of this. And everyone should know, not only yourself, but all the business owners right now that are struggling. Like, we all have clients that are restaurant owners, that are bars, that are hotels. I mean, that industry is getting hammered right now. No one is coming in to sit down. In fact, in some cases, it's illegal to go to a restaurant. They have to close, right? So these business owners are, number one, freaking out. They still have to pay their rent. They have equipment rentals. They have a lot of stuff that they have to pay for every single month. But what's important to do is that you're there for them, right? You're their consultant. You need to be there to comfort them, not only in good times, but also in bad times. So I highly encourage every single one of you to reach out to your clients personally, email, better phone call, to say, hey, I was thinking about you guys. How's everything going? I just wanted to check in. And in a way, you also want to get them thinking about their relaunch. This shouldn't all be doom and gloom. They shouldn't sit there at home sulking about how their restaurant is closed. And clearly it's a concern, right? But what they should really be thinking about is the day that they reopen, what are they going to do to make all the money back that they've lost during this downtime? Because we all know, as soon as the warnings go out, as soon as this stuff goes away, everyone's going to go out in droves. Everyone's going to go out and spend money. They're going to go to restaurants, to shows, to bars. They're going to go party, right? So you want to get your clients prepared for that influx of new business when those guests come in, and when they have a relaunch party and they have a promotion, happy hour, 2-for-1, whatever it is. You want to make sure that they capture their guest data and they do some marketing with it. Because now, when you call your clients, something you should 100% mention, and those of you that have clients that have lists, you should really call your clients with this idea, if you haven't already, and say, number one, it's never been more important to communicate with your customers. And this is a perfect example, right? Any restaurant out there, specifically restaurants that are still open for delivery, they got to reach out to every single person that's ever come into that establishment and say, hey, I know you came here, everything's okay, we're clean, we wear masks, we deliver. Otherwise they're going to go bankrupt. Like, is this dire? Honestly, if this lasts for any longer than 3 to 6 weeks, these restaurants will not be able to afford it. I'm sure already you've seen announcements in your area of restaurants just seeing that and just closing permanently. They just figure, fuck it, I'm just going to close the restaurant, right? Why even ride it out? So you have to be there for them and tell them, look, there's hope. You need to communicate with your clients right now. Let them know that they can still spend money with you in different ways, and they should support their local businesses to avoid them going bankrupt. And also talk about the importance of having a strong email list, a strong SMS list to send text messages, and having phone numbers to call their actual restaurant patrons and say, hey, I just want to reach out. Like, what are these restaurant owners doing? They're sitting at home. Their restaurant's closed. They're sitting on their couch, or, like you and I, or on their desk, hopefully, and they should be sitting there working on something else. They should be thinking about how they're going to relaunch their business. Okay, so it's your jobs, and I really want to call out to each one of you to call your clients, not only, current clients, but even prospects, call up a local business and be like, hey, I've been to your restaurant before. You're not my client. I just want to call you and say, what's up? How are things going? I want to be here to help. I want to start thinking about your relaunch strategy. If you have time, and we all know that restaurant owners have time right now, it's kind of the opposite. If any of you guys ever tried to sell locally or sell to a restaurant owner, what happens? You can never get them on the phone. If you walk in, they're usually super busy. This is like the rare time where restaurant owners actually have time to hear you out. Okay, you should all be taking advantage of that. You should be getting the attention of that restaurant owner either by like emailing them or texting them or picking up the phone and calling them, and not trying to sell them on the spot. Be like, hey, how are things? I just want to check in with you. And be like, oh, by the way, I'm wondering if you have some free time. I would love to show you this Wi-Fi marketing platform that I have and how it can generate leads and automatically capture your guest data. And especially when you reopen, I'd love to have a new guest Wi-Fi solution ready so that when you do your relaunch, we can grab everybody's emails. And, in the crazy case that it ever happens again and everybody has to go on lockdown, you'll at least now have an email list, an SMS list where you can reach out to those clients. And what you do is you get that business owner on Zoom. So all this happens safely and remotely. You're not breathing in anyone's face, completely just like this. You guys are watching a video remotely. You present to that business owner directly on Zoom. You can sign up for an account for free. And then you go through the platform demo. And as you know, a few weeks ago, we launched that demo data. So even if you have a net new account, you have no clients to show, I always recommend actually to use that demo data regardless of your client status, because that's all fake data, no privacy issues. You can just go show that data and say, hey, this is what's possible when you reopen your restaurant. If I install my hotspot in there, I'll be able to capture this data, check out these phone numbers and emails, and look at this automation I can do. You get them really excited, and then you drop ship them a device. Again, totally safe to do in this climate where you drop ship it directly from the factory. You're not transmitting any diseases. You're not going there in person. And you're getting them ready to relaunch, right? Obviously, if you sell them on the call, you drop ship them the device, or even go as far as saying, look, I'll give you a trial. I want to get you set up in advance. Let me send it to you. You can drop ship either the SH50 from our store, or you can drop ship an Aruba Instant On device, which is, we just launched that integration last week. An awesome piece of hardware that integrates seamlessly with our platform. It's from Aruba, Hewlett-Packard, no licensing fees, and can handle up to 100 simultaneous users at a price point of less than $200. So it's really, really great. So whatever hardware you end up using, at the end of the day, this is a great opportunity to call the business owner, let them know that number one, you're here for them, you're here to support them, you're here to help them get back in gear and relaunch bigger and better than ever. And you're going to do that by offering guest Wi-Fi at their establishment to help collect all the data of the guests. When they're ready to reopen, you'll have this ready to go. Okay, so hopefully that's the process, right? Now, if you guys want me to do a crash course, if you want to actually have me walk through the steps of setting all that up, comment below in this video, comment the word remote. And if I get enough people there, I know I mentioned that a lot of you are working from home and are working remotely. So I want to set up a separate time, carve out a couple hours where I can walk through the blueprint of this specific strategy that I talked about, because I think it's very timely. It's like a rare time in the world where all the restaurant owners, all your potential clients have time. They'll open their emails, they'll listen to you, they'll give you half an hour on Zoom, or even a quick 10-minute phone call. They're just sitting there, right? So if you could be there to support them, they won't forget that. And they'll spend a lot of money with you when they're ready to reopen. So if you guys want me to do a crash course on this, comment the word remote below, and I'll teach you how to do these remote sales. Pretty straightforward, but there's a little bit of setup required for the calendar setup, the Zoom setup, and then what to show on the demo, and what presentation to use ultimately is what I'll be running through. So as well, make sure you check out the demo data, check out the previous Wi-Fi Wednesday videos if you want to see what that's all about. You find it under My Accounts on the My Account tab on the top right. Click on demo mode, and you'll be able to demo the whole platform with tons of data that's all fake. So you can demo that on the calls that I just mentioned. We also launched a ton of new stuff last week, so I'm not going to go through it all again. But if you're interested, I highly encourage you to watch last week's video as I walk through all of this stuff. The direct HubSpot integration, the twofactor.in, it's an SMS integration in India. So it offers great transactional SMS at great pricing in India. We have over 300 new email templates that we added for our email editor. We have our Aruba Instant On support with a new guide of how to add that and integrate it. We have our sales CRM webhooks, so anyone that goes through your demo widget or your preview link, as they follow that and they go through that whole flow, their phone number, name, email, etc., is added to not only your lead list, but now sent via webhook to any endpoint. So HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever you're using for your CRM, you can automatically add this as a prospect. So it's really great. And please comment below if you guys have any success with this. I know that I've had a bunch of resellers know that it's working great. So I'd love to know how you guys are using that. And then next week as well, we're going to be adding SMTP email integration. We're adding a few more compliance things for email, so the ability to opt out of email or automation campaigns, and all that will also be multi-language. So it's great for those who are wondering, if you're sending through multiple mail servers, if somebody opts out in one, you don't want to email them again from another, right? That's anti-spam, non-compliant. So what we're going to do is create a global opt-out link that the customer will be able to click, or the guest will be able to click at any time in that communication. So if they opt out there, it will disable them for any future automations. So regardless of the mail server you're using, it will opt them out globally on that specific campaign. So just an extra level that we're doing to keep everyone compliant. Don't want you making any mistakes and getting in trouble. So this is kind of like a hard lock that won't let you mess anything up. And we have a ton more training coming soon. As I mentioned, number one, the remote training I want to get through. We have a ton more recipes, automation training, and we have the whole boot camp that, like I said, I was waiting for a ton of features that we launched last week. We have a few additional ones that are trickling in over the next week or so, and then I think now is a great time to kick that off as well. So keep an eye out for some emails in regards to that, and obviously any questions you have for our support team, visit support.mywifinetworks.com. We are always here and happy to help. Thankfully, a lot of our support team is working remotely still, so we're always here to help you for anything that you do need, and any other requests. Obviously, we're here to help at any time. All right, guys, thanks so much, and everyone stay safe, be smart, and we'll talk soon. Take care.